First tonight on Our News Weekend, as we count down to independence, Our News is celebrating what makes us uniquely Bahamian. And this year, we're partnering with Bahamas handprints on this National Culture Day. Our Jerome Sawyer tells the story behind the Bahamian-grown brand. Also, police on Andros are investigating a stabbing that left a man fighting for his life. He was airlifted to New Providence for emergency medical care. We have the details. And later, climate change, security, and the region's relationship are just some of the pressing issues on the table at this week's CARICOM Heads of Government meeting in Jamaica. Foreign Affairs Minister Fred Mitchell shares more when Our News Weekend returns. This is Our News Weekend. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Natalia Hall in for Megan Shepard. Tonight, we're wearing our roots proudly and boldly Bahamian. As we count down to our 52nd independence, Our News is teaming up with Bahamas handprints to launch a campaign that's as colorful and personal as the islands we call home. Two homegrown brands with one shared vision to celebrate what makes us uniquely us. And who better to start with than the people who bring you the news. Our Boldly Bahamian digital campaign is already making waves with members of the Our News team, from anchors to editors, cameramen to producers, stepping in front of the lens to share a piece of themselves. Take our senior digital content manager, Ricky Barry. She's a proud Harbor Island girl who chose 3 custom prints that bring back memories of pineapples, golf cart rides, and everything that makes Bryland feel like home.
The prints that they had, it just felt like the prints connected with me. It didn't just feel like I was buying a nice top or something that I thought looked nice. It looked like, wow, this shirt is telling my story, and people can see it from my walk in the door now. So that experience from being up in Harbor Island and, climbing tree and picking stuff, that's still with me. That still influences the way I communicate with people. That still influences what my mindset of the Bahamas is. That's what I grew up on. Somebody asked me about the Bahamas, that's what I tell them about. So that still stays with me, and that's something that I would want to pass down to my kids as well, no matter where they grow up. They are going to hear about them and me in Harbor Island on the golf course.
The pineapples and the pink sand.
The pineapples, the pink sand beach that nobody else has.
Such a great story. Well, Our News executive producer Jerome Sawyer isn't just a news veteran. He's a son of the soil with roots deeply planted in both Long Island and Rum Cay. So when he was asked to choose his custom Bahama handprints for our independence campaign, he says he knew exactly what he wanted them to represent. For Sawyer, it wasn't just about choosing a pattern. It was about honoring the resilience that defined his family and the communities that shaped him. His prints are a nod to his past and a celebration of the strength that still lives in every Out Island story. In his words, all connected.
Hey, you can't have a beach without palm trees. So, it's all connected.
Those of us in New Providence and in Nassau, we can literally get anything we need, by driving or going somewhere. When you live on an island, you don't have that luxury. And so you have to make do with what you have. And that is, for me, what I've gotten from my roots, from my people. For years, Long Islanders didn't have electricity. They didn't have roads. They didn't have running water. Sure. Rum Cay, same thing. I know about going to Rum Cay and having to bring water from the airport in the wheelbarrow to bathe. That's one of the things for me that makes us so unique, that we take with whatever little we have and we make it into something great.
All right, interesting stories. And after sharing his own island roots through print, our executive producer Jerome Sawyer takes us a step further as we count down to independence with Bahamas handprints. He takes us behind the threads and into the heart of the brand that's been printing culture for decades.
In 1966, Bahama Handprints started bringing unique handmade, colorful prints to the Bahamas. The late Helen Astorita and Berta Sands started this small manufacturing business, and now, nearly 60 years later, having passed through the ownership of several Bahamian women, Alana Van Olsen is carrying on the tradition that is uniquely Bahamian.
I don't think you can get any more Bahamian than the prints from Bahama Handprints. It it just speaks so much to the culture, to the people, to the colors, to the island.
A young Leslie Williams joined the company back then after seeing an ad in the papers for a screen printer. He joined just before they moved into the famous Mackey Street location. As the new machines were being installed, he learned the techniques needed to bring these vibrant prints to life.
We come a long way. We came a long, long way because this company changed hands about 3 or 4 times. We were down out west in the government industrial park, and then we moved back up to Ernest Street, and now we're here. We're here with Alana. Alana is very, genuine in what she's doing, and she took the company even to another level.
Another level indeed. These days, the main Harbor Bay location is an experience unto itself. With an expanded showroom-style boutique adjacent to the printing room is where Williams does his magic.
Once the print has been done, like this one I just did, all I could have been saying, oh man, this is lovely, because I know this is going to sell. So we're bringing something to market that's going to sell. It's beautiful. As soon as you set your eyes on that, it's going to be, oh yeah, I like this, because I like it. I have to like it first.
But one thing that really hasn't changed in the years that Williams and others have been here is the authentic Bahamian experience of the fabric.
When we come up with collections, it's all about sort of identifying as Bahamian. That's the whole story of it, is that it's designed by Bahamians. It's made here in the Bahamas, and when you feel it, you should feel proudly Bahamian.
Today, tourists and Bahamians continue to show up for the one-of-a-kind hand-printed fabrics that feature bold, vibrant designs inspired by Bahamian culture and natural beauty, due mainly to the care and attention given in the creative process.
We all feel very passionate that it is made here, and that is the story of Bahama handprints.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Jerome Sawyer.
And now here's your chance to get in on the Boldly Bahamian fun. If you love the prints you've seen, you could win a $100 Bahama Handprints gift card. Just answer tonight's trivia question. Which Our News team member likened their heritage to conch salad? Head to Our News Bahamas on Facebook to drop your answer. First correct response wins. Good luck. Well, today is National Culture Day, and this year officials are using the occasion to highlight national wellness initiatives. Our Daniel Miller spoke with residents who believe our heritage was built to foster a society of physically, mentally, and emotionally balanced individuals.
Bahamas is a good place. Really, Bahamas is the best in the world. And that's why the slogan says it's better in the Bahamas.
That timeless motto has become synonymous with Bahamian pride. Expressions of culture like rake and scrape, junkanoo, and handcrafted artworks embody a spirit of joy and freedom. Paired with our golden shores and crystal clear waters, many agree the Bahamas is arguably one of the best places to live. And this independence season, officials have dedicated National Culture Day to promoting physical, emotional, and mental wellness. Some residents admit that healthy lifestyles can be costly and life gets challenging sometimes. But they encourage Bahamians to hold on to their strong spiritual roots, incorporate wellness into their daily lives, and tap into the natural resources around us.
Well, the bush medicine is very good. Like, the moringa, the cerasee and stuff like that. It's good to drink them things like once a month or every 2 months to get a good clean out and stuff like that. And that help flush out all the toxin in your body.
This resident says the environment itself can be a source of healing.
You have one of the best jobs in the world. You work on the water in the Bahamas. What does that do for your mental health?
Oh, it is. Words can't explain. It's like the best thing ever. They say in life you have to do the things that you love to do. That's a part of what I'm doing. I'm doing the thing I love the most, which is being on the water, meeting people and giving them a great experience.
For resident Georgette Gardner, she shares, mental health needs to be taken more seriously.
Sometimes we go and we tell a pastor, we tell a friend, they may talk and laugh with us, but listen, mental health, I think it's more important than you worrying about your diabetes, your hypertension, because why? The mind is a serious thing.
But here's her advice.
I would encourage persons to pray, utilize our beautiful beaches, relax, and just enjoy ourselves.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Danielle Miller.
Switching gears, a Marcos alert was issued by police late this afternoon as authorities search for 15-year-old Jasmine Hanna of Quarry Mission Road, New Providence. According to the alert, Jasmine was last seen on Friday, July 4th at her residence. She's described as having a light brown complexion and a medium build. Meanwhile, shortly after that alert was issued around 3, police also circulated a missing persons flyer for 65-year-old Delana Williams of Prince Charles Drive. Williams was last seen around 2 p.m. on Friday, July 4th in the Yamacraw Beach area. She was reported missing that same day. Williams is described as being of brown complexion and slim build. If you have any information on either case, you are urged to contact police immediately at 919 or the Criminal Investigation Department at telephone numbers 502-9991 or 502-9992. We will continue to follow these stories and bring you any updates as they come in. Be sure to follow our social media pages at Our News Bahamas. Police on the island of Andros are investigating a stabbing that left a man seriously injured Friday evening. It happened shortly before 6 at a home in the Bluff, South Andros. Reports say a 39-year-old man was stabbed by a woman he knows. He was taken to the local clinic in a private vehicle, then airlifted to New Providence for further treatment. His current condition is unknown. Investigations are continuing. As regional leaders gather in Jamaica this week for the CARICOM Heads of Government meeting, Foreign Affairs Minister Fred Mitchell says key discussions will focus on security, climate change, and the region's relationship with the United States. Now, this won't be the first time climate change and security appear on the agenda, as both issues remain a top priority for many Caribbean countries, including the Bahamas. Prime Minister Philip Davis is expected to attend the meeting. Meanwhile, Minister Mitchell is urging Bahamians to follow the law when traveling to other countries.
That's been what has dominated the conversations in Antigua over the OAS, and that's what dominates, will likely dominate this conversation as well. Of course, the Bahamas says, whatever, it's their country, they decide who goes in and who goes out. We just ask Bahamians to make sure that they follow the law when they go into another person's country, and we do our best to protect you, to ensure that your rights are protected when you go into another country, and that applies to the states as well.
Well, there's some movement in the local equity market, and this time in a positive direction. After months of sluggish performance, an RF Bank and Trust executive says we're finally seeing signs of improvement over the last 4 months. Vice President and Group Head of Investment David Slatter attributes the uptick to a mixed buy strategy that's slowly rebuilding momentum. And as for how things are looking in the international market,
well, internationally, what's the term? It's like we're back to where we were before the inauguration of Trump and then the Liberation Day on April 2nd when he announced the tariff. So it's been very volatile. So the S&P 500 is back to where it was before it all started. And where are we now? Well, even though we're at the same level as, say, 8 months ago, earnings expectations have come down. So corporate earnings in the U.S. are less slowing. I would say there's more risks, right? You talk about geopolitical risks. You talk about all the uncertainty with this tariff policy. So I don't think the current valuations on the S&P 500 are investable. What you really need to be doing in the international market is stock picking and not just picking indices. So you need to be a little more nuanced in how you invest.
When Our News Weekend comes back from the break, the Royal Palm Hotel on Grand Bahama is being transformed into a state-of-the-art business incubator with a $3 million price tag and a big vision for the space. The new innovative 242 Center could spark a new era of entrepreneurship on the island, and the beverage business got a boost at the Caribbean Bottling Company's first ever trade expo. We'll tell you about the new launch and what it means for distributors and retailers nationwide. That's all coming up when Our News Weekend returns. The Royal Palm Hotel, once a thriving property in Grand Bahama, is now the center of a major transformation. On Friday, government officials took members of the media on a tour of the structure on the Mall Drive, where work crews were busy on site. Only the shell of the former hotel remains, but soon the space will be the Innovate 242 Business Incubator. The multi-purpose center will house up to 35 businesses and include offices for key agencies like the Ministry of Tourism, the Department of Inland Revenue, representatives from the Grand Bahama Port Authority, and a resilience center. It will also feature meeting spaces, restaurants, and other amenities designed to create a one-stop shop for entrepreneurs. Deputy Prime Minister Chester Cooper says STS is the contractor and it's a $3 million project. He adds a public-private partnership is a joint effort between the Tourism Development Corporation and the Ministry for Grand Bahama, supported by a loan from the Saudi Fund.
What we will have here spaces where small businesses can have a rent-free space for a limited period of time. We hope that they will grow and outgrow the space, and thereafter they would be able to move on to their own storefront. The reality of what we find today is that rent is a big component, and therefore if we can give the entrepreneur a start, a head start, if you will, that will help them to be more successful faster.
So we have major companies that have come on board to sponsor various rooms where they're going to be meeting rooms. We're going to have our Young Innovators Club where young people throughout the island of Grand Bahama can come and be involved in innovative concepts for development.
While no completion date was given, the Tourism Development Corporation will also provide technical support and business mentorship as a part of a pilot initiative.
The incubation center, of course, is one of those areas where there was a clear open gap for providing those entrepreneurial opportunities for businesses. We have piloted one in New Providence. And of course, we've studied other incubation centers around the world. And so now we have been informed as to how to do this successfully. And so we're looking for great success here in Grand Bahama, in Exuma, and of course, the larger one in New Providence.
All right, positive news for the island of Grand Bahama. Well, the Bahamian beverage scene just got a major boost as Caribbean Bottling Company hosted its first ever trade expo, bringing together top retailers, distributors, and new product launches under one roof. The Bahamas Convention Center was transformed into a hub of innovation. This as the event showcased a diverse range of products from carbonated soft drinks to juices and energy drinks, attracting suppliers and distributors from across the country. Carla Douglas Adley, Senior Director of Marketing for Caribbean Bottling Company and Caribbean Wines and Spirits, says the event is all about connecting with customers.
That being all of the grocery stores, liquor stores, petroleum channels across the Bahamas. And we are thrilled to host everybody here at Bahamar for this event, highlighting our different products across multiple different categories, that being CSDs, water, hydration, Minute Maid juices, and energy drinks. So we're excited that we've had multiple distributors here today, them including Solomon's Fresh Markets, Solomon's Yamacraw, as well as Lowe's Pharmacy, Jayco Trading, and multiple others.
And with the beverage market more competitive than ever, the company is prioritizing customer service and investing in new products, including the recently launched green apple and banana Fanta flavors. Adley says the company is also preparing for a busy summer season with heightened demand.
This is definitely our season right now. We are in the thick of it, but we have a huge facility where we do produce on a daily basis, sometimes 7 days a week, and our machines go late into the evening as well, ensuring that we can stay up with demand. We are also very proud to be reinvesting in our product and ensuring that we can ensure that our lines are always at full capacity and as quality assured as possible.
Still to come on Our News Weekend, come this November, the Sting Junkanoo Group is celebrating in style. A special concert marking 33 years of performance and 25 years of original songs in the works. And the group says it will be one to remember.
Bahamians meet up on the Diamond in the Big Apple, and the swim team representing the Bahamas in the World Aquatics Championships has been named. Our sports weekend is coming up next.
Grand Bahama is home to a unique economic arrangement, with that arrangement between government and the Grand Bahama Port Authority under scrutiny as tensions persist.
It's not our direct responsibility to carry out these other things that people think we should be doing.
We need this to be dealt with quicker than quicker and sooner than sooner.
I have a vision for Grand Bahama, and my vision's actually bigger than my grandfather's ever was.
Watch City in Focus, the story of Freeport with Italia Hall, starting August 7th only on RTV.
Good evening, I'm Tage Adderley, and it is great to be back with our sports weekend. Bahamians lie on both sides of New York's baseball divide, with Anton Richardson serving as the first base coach and outfield coach for the Mets, and Jazz Chisholm manning the hot corner for the Yankees. Yesterday, they began their Subway Series. The Yankees fell to the Mets 6-5 Friday afternoon in Queens. The big fella Aaron Judge started the game off with a 2-run shot in the top of the first, but the Yankees pitching, which has fell apart as of late, gave it right back with the Yankees starting pitcher Marcus Stroman surrendering a 2-run home run in the bottom of the first to former Yankee and Anton Richardson's protege Juan Soto. The Mets would rally to take a 5-3 lead, with Brett Beatty hitting a home run in the 6th and Jeff McNeil lacing another one in the 7th to give the game its final score. Jazz did everything he could to keep things together, going 2 for 4 with 2 singles. Now, they played again earlier this afternoon. We'll have the score from that one for you tomorrow. Now moving over to the pool, where the team that will represent the Bahamas in the World Aquatics Championships was named on Friday. A 4-swimmer team of Lamar Taylor, Victoria Russell, and siblings Zaylee Elizabeth Thompson and Mark Anthony Thompson are headed to the World Aquatics Championships in Singapore on July 11th. The 22nd edition of the Games will encompass swimming in the pool, water polo, open water swimming, artistic swimming, high diving, and diving. But the Bahamian quartet of swimmers will be focused on getting after it in the lanes. The team will be coached by Trevano McPhee, Georgette Aubrey will be team manager, and Dr. Cordero Bonamy will be the PT on duty. Now, all 4 swimmers have a lot of college and international experience, and this time they'll try to break through and bring some hardware home to the 242. We wish them the best of luck. Before we go, VJ Edgecombe is getting ready for his first action as a pro. He and his 76ers will play the Utah Jazz in the NBA Summer League in about an hour, so check that out if you can. That is a wrap for sports this evening. For our sports weekend, I'm Tage Adderley.
Thanks so much, Tage. Well, on the other side of this break, the Sting Junkanoo Group is marking a major milestone. 33 years in the business, and this November, they're bringing the energy to a concert celebration featuring the voices behind their most iconic songs. Stay with us. Welcome back to our News Weekend. Thanks for staying with us. Cloudy skies on this pre-Independence Day weekend. Hopefully we see some sun tomorrow. Meteorologist Ian McKenzie is in the Weather Center with your extended weather forecast. Ian.
Thanks, Italia, and good evening, Bahamas. Welcome to your Saturday evening forecast, where we still have bright skies on the outside. Temperature of 86, feels like at 92. Winds are from the south-southeast at 10 miles per hour. Temperatures across the country at this time, we have 84s in Freeport, as well as Marsh Harbor and Alistown, 85s in Nicholstown, Great Harbor Key, and in Governor's Harbor with some sprinkles, 86 in the capital. Central Bahamas continue with those 86s in Camps Bay, 85s in Black Point, Georgetown, 84s in Arthurstown, Coburn Town, Port Nelson, and in Deadman's Key, Long Island. Southeast Bahamas, 84 in Duncan Town, 85s in Colonel Hill, Delectable Bay, and 87 in the hotspot Matthew Town. We have a pair of 86s in Abrahams Bay, Mayaguana, and Providenciales, Turks and Caicos. Satellite and radar imagery at this time, we have some trailing moisture associated with Tropical Storm Chantal. We should see pockets of showers and isolated thunderstorm activity mainly across the northwest Bahamas from the system tonight through tomorrow with some gradual clearing and then some residual showers possible throughout most of the week. Tracking the tropics right now, here is Chantal making its way towards South Carolina. Should bear down with some heavy showers and some rough boating, beaching conditions along the southeast coast of the U.S. courtesy of Chantal. Chantal should pretty much dissipate late night tomorrow into early Monday. Boating forecast pretty much on the comfortable side. Winds southerly at 10 to 15 knots across the northwest and central islands. Seas be running 2 to 4 feet. Low tide at 11:16 p.m. tonight. High tide at 5:03 a.m. tomorrow morning. In the southeast Bahamas, winds a little stronger. We're looking at easterly to southeast, rather 15 knot seas running 3 to 5 feet over the ocean. In your extended forecast, some residual showers courtesy of Chantal may streak across our area. We expect some clearing by Monday, then some moisture across Independence Week, pockets of showers on and off here and there, so walk with your umbrella throughout the course of the week. Highs in the upper 80s, getting up into the 90s by the end of the week, lows in the upper 70s. That's a wrap in the evening forecast. Make it a great, safe, fun night, everyone.
Thanks so much for that, Ian. Well, the Sting Junkanoo Group, a beloved staple in the nation's cultural landscape, is gearing up for a milestone celebration. The group announced plans to mark 33 years on Bay Street and 25 years of performing original Junkanoo songs with a major concert later this year. In a spirited announcement, Bernard Hanna, leader of the Sting Junkanoo Group, says the celebration concert will take place on November 2nd, featuring performances from the original artists behind the group's hit songs over the past quarter century.
5 years of song, bringing original songs to Bay Street. And this is going to happen. We're going to have a celebrations concert, second to none, on the second day of November of this year, which will feature all of our artists that perform those 25 songs. This is simply going to be incredible. This is something that you wouldn't want to miss.
The concert will take place at the Farm on Marshall Road and will feature a number of special guests, including Stevie S and more.
Dyson Knight, KB, and the D-Mac, those 5, they will be performing here. And we already have their commitment, so those 5 will be performing our songs, and we are thinking about having 1 or 2 of the top Junkanoo groups performing here also.
All right, and with that, we thank you so much for joining us for our News Weekend. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Natalia Hall. Enjoy the rest of your evening.